Transportation Authority, the Metro Mass Transit Limited, SD Dombo University of Business and Integrated Development Studies, as it was known then, the Minerals Income Investment Fund, the Social Security and National Insurance Trust, and finally, the University of Energy and Natural Resources. Now, a number of affected individuals also submitted petitions about the revocation of their appointments to the following organizations: the Forestry Plantation Development Fund, the National Investment Bank, the National Development Planning Commission, the Ghana Exim Bank, the Ghana Commercial Bank or GCB Bank, the Water Lake Transport Company Limited, the Ghana Investment Fund for Electronic Communications, and a collection of petitions from persons living with disability. At the end of its work, the committee made the following findings. 1. Of the 36 institutions that appeared before it, 28 had commenced the recruitment processes before the 7th December elections. 2. A total of 13 institutions revoked appointments made in a response to the 7th of December 2024 revocation directive. 17 institutions did not revoke their appointments but sought guidance from the Office of the President. 16 of the cases reported by the institutions were mainly payroll-related. In total, there were 2,080 recruitments, appointments, and promotions that were reported by institutions when they appeared before the committee. Now, out of the 2,080 recruitments, appointments, and promotions, 879 were revoked by the institutions themselves, while 1,201 appointments were left unrevoked. After the hearings, the committee recommended that 1,539 of the recruitments, appointments, and promotions be upheld because they complied with the prescribed recruitment and promotion procedures and received appointment letters before 7 December 2024. And this also implies that they achieved a pass mark of above 80%, or 80% or above, I beg your pardon. The committee recommended, however, that the recruitments, appointments, and promotions of 541 persons be revoked because the recruitment processes ended after 7 December 2024 and failed to meet the pass mark. In other words, they also did not comply with the processes and guidelines slated or designed to govern that process. Also, the number of recruitments, appointments, and promotions recommended for revocation by the committee was lower than the number that the institutions themselves revoked in the wake of the Chief of Staff's directive. As I indicated, the number was 879 in all. That's the number of recruitments, promotions, and appointments that were revoked. Now, this differential is because the committee paid special attention to vulnerable groups, including persons with disabilities, particularly within the Ghana Education Service. There were some of our compatriots who suffered some disability, but we found that their recruitments should be revoked because it did not comply with the laid down process. But because of their peculiar situation and the hardship that could be imposed upon them if we were to enforce this directive, they were given some clemency, and therefore they have been allowed to regularize their processes in order that they stay within the public service and earn an income. Obviously, the recruitments, appointments, and promotions that were revoked were made in clear breach of procedures and directives issued during the transition period and did not comply with the regulatory framework and guidelines for recruitments, appointments, and promotions into the public service. Hence, the decision to revoke these appointments was not based on a witch hunt. There was no political motive beyond the desire to uphold due process and ensure compliance with the rules and proper procedures governing such recruitments and appointments. It was done without malice or ill feeling towards anyone. It was a necessary step to uphold the rule of law and ensure accountability. The previous government was fully aware that basic requirements were not met in those cases and still went ahead to sanction them. They completely disregarded the incoming administrations and treaties and requests to be consulted on SIM so that we could be on the same page and have opportunity to review the processes in order to ensure that they complied with the laid down rules. So this is the outcome of the work of the committee set up by the Chief of Staff to look into the revocation of appointments, recruitments, and promotions that were done after the 7 December 2024 elections. Thank you very much. If anyone has questions relating to what I just presented or any matter relating to the presidency and government, the floor is open for such questions. So, because this is live on television, I would suggest that those who are asking questions should move now so that we don't have a long break. So I take it that the presentation was self-explanatory and touched on every point. All right. So in that case, then, I thank all of you for coming. All right.
All bets on sports.